Hello viewers, and welcome to more coverage of TT Isle of Man 2. We're still riding on the edge, and in this video we're going to look at viewpoints. Now viewpoints greatly affect your feeling of speed, and I've noticed this in the comments. When people see different views, different angles, sometimes they feel the bike is going slow. Here we're on board with a Supersport bike, and you can feel the speed is pretty good, and if you go onto a superbike it's even greater. Of course, when you're on the bike and there's a bit of vibration, and on TV they tend to use fisheye lenses, it changes the look and feel entirely. It gives you a lot more vibration and everything. It's not practical, that's not what the riders see, because obviously your body cushions the bumps, your eyes cushion the bumps. It's a bit smoother, and sometimes it doesn't feel as fast as it does from those camera views. Various different views give you a different feeling of speed, and TT Isle of Man 2 has 6 different viewpoints for you to be able to enjoy the game as you like. So of course you have the bumper cam, as I call it, which we've just looked at. You've got this on bike cam, which is rigid to this point. So I'm riding along now, haven't really played much from these viewpoints, and the reason for that is that there's a dynamic camera option that was turned on when I first played the game, and I didn't get on very well with it. So we're going to look at that in the video. So here we see it's a bit more sort of tied to the bike. Now obviously I haven't played from this point of view. It changes your braking points and you look and you feel and everything. It sort of alters how you approach, so I'd need to do some practice to get fully up to speed. But okay, so far so good. I'm hitting the brakes here, I've missed my braking point. Oh well, into the wall. Anyway, you guys get the idea. If we run that a few times, obviously when you change your viewpoint it changes your whole look and feel of the world. Well, I wanted to show you me being fresh rather than running it 10 times and just improving. I want to show you how I'm learning. I'm riding, finding my way around, changing view now, handlebars. You can see how the rider moves around a lot more, up and down under braking now, which people have requested. So they've listened to the comments and they've added that to the game. There's a lot more visceral, a lot more movement in the rider now as he works his way around. So on with this view then, again just changing to it. I've not been using this view very often. It takes a bit of getting used to. The actual ups and downs of the rider initially took a bit of getting used to under braking. As obvious as it seems, it still sort of throws you off in terms of my feeling of the bike and my centre of what I'm actually looking at. But overall, very comfortable with it. And again on this Supersport bike I'm just getting up to speed gradually. Feeling quite comfortable. Slightly putting up too much steer in the bike there, so I need a bit of time just to find my reference points and my braking points. Again, it changes every time. When you're closer to the front of the bike, to the rear, those little markers all change that you look at. You just need to guide yourself as to where they are. Normally I'm some way behind the bike. And then of course you have your helmet cam, which gives you that nice lens effect, which obviously changes depending on the lighting conditions, and picks up all the different bit of bugs and muck that you pick up on the way around, particles from the air driving at these speeds. So you can see it's a bit more intense, a bit more bumpy when you're actually in sort of process riding along, and I can tell you right now when you're actually playing it, your focus is on a very small section in the distance, and just trying to make sure you hit your apexes and your braking markers. But oh, getting it slightly wrong there. I was looking for the view change button. So then I thought, well, let's change to the external views, and suddenly I'm all over the shop where my eyes have got set to a point, and then I thought, let's start again. So then you have this camera view. This is the one I've been using on the videos to date. This is the new camera, which has a bit more dynamic motion to it. It's one I've said that takes a bit of getting used to. And it does. The bike moves around a lot. It's not going to be for everybody, but it gives you again a more sort of loose, visceral sense, if you like, of the bike moving around. And I think as you get your eye in on the bike and the line, you will find yourself getting more comfortable. Still trying to learn that braking point. And just trying to find the different handling style. Every view changes how you approach a corner, what you're looking at, the line you're looking at, piece of tarmac, the braking point. Oh, getting a bit close there. So managed to get, I just about got away with that. I was close to hitting the curb then. And then continuing on the way, So nice and stable. When you move up to the superbikes, the challenge increases exponentially. We're going to look a bit of that on another video where I turn assists off, just to show you guys some of the assists off. But it's so challenging on the superbikes, it really is. You just need to know the course, and I'm not consistent at it. I mean, even if I do the odd lap, it's really challenging. I mean, it's just so challenging to get it done consistently. And then we have the other viewpoint now, which is slightly tighter to the bike. You see, the bike's not moving around as much. It's more like the original game. Of course, you have the improvements to the physics now, so the bike's a bit more planted and understanding what it's doing. That's not to say you can't fall off the bike. You can hit bumps, you can fall off, you can make braking errors, but nothing like the first game, where if you went too fast into a corner, the bike would just decide you're going to crash and keep going. Somebody said to me the other day about it, and I said, well, I said once I learned where all the bumps were and I learned what speed it wanted me to go through the few tricky corners on lap, I just had to be careful on those sections, but other than that I was pretty clean on the first game. But here there's a lot more movement to the bike, a lot more subtlety, and you feel like you can get more out of the bike all the time. You really feel like you can attack the apexes more than you could in the first game. So because of course carrying that speed, it's just about the fluidity of the bike rather than that sort of rigid system that just said you're going too fast and took you out. So actually working our way around here, that view suited me probably the best, and we just see a look at the two different viewpoints now. You know, just they're similar but different in the sense of getting used to the more dynamic view. I quite like the dynamic view. I haven't decided which one yet works better for me, because they both have nice little pros and cons. I suppose I quite like the original game view because I thought it worked well for me at the time. It's a more rigid view behind the bike, but personal preference is what you're looking for there. And again, just as I say, you're looking at different lines, different things in the corner. Still needs a lot of practice. I mean, even there I'm wide through that corner, and just trying to get that slow corner, that double apex right there is difficult, because it's getting that second apex and sweeping through. Get you on the power nice and early here. You can go flat here, of course. And then you want to scrub off some speed. It's downhill section. So far so good. I mean, all the views have worked pretty well for me. Not had any major issues. Though, as I say, the dynamic camera does take some getting used to. Now, there are some other camera options, and we'll take those in just a second, which alter the onboard. So you can see there the automatic camera, default camera, dynamic view. At the point of recording this, I'm not certain what the automatic camera does. I haven't seen a change to it. The default camera, I just set up the chase view. They have it set as near and far, but really it should be chase near and chase far dynamic. And then I was just changing the dynamic view. So I think I worked first with just seeing it as it is, seeing if there's any changes with automatic on and off, just riding around. And I think it's nice for me just to jump through the different views, and then after that I try switching on the dynamic views and show you guys what that's about. It doesn't necessarily work that well for me, but it could do for some of you guys. So, and as I say, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the view you ride from changes very much the intensity of the experience for what you want. So if you want something that's a bit more intense, I'm just having a cruise now. There we go, let's just change the options, change those. Well, let's have a look at standard then. See what it's all about. Now you'll see the head swaying from side to side, and now he looks towards the corner. Wow, okay. So this immediately was challenging for me, because the head is now looking towards the apex, the view as it were, and so for me it was like, okay, it's quite challenging. Now I was just changing views just to see if there was any changes it made to the other views at all, if the other views changed anyway, but it really is just the onboard bike views that are changing. And again, I wanted to show you the learning process. So I'm okay with this external view. I shouldn't really be riding with this, but I am, because I'm quite enjoying myself. And of course then we see a jump to the close view here. And I just wanted to have a browse at the countryside. The lovely countryside, the lush version of this TT circuit. What a fantastic modelling of the circuit. Wonderful trees and bushes and views for miles and miles. Just having a nice relaxing time here. Nice bike as well. Love the little reflection effects, lighting effects and detail. Look at that, you can practically breathe in that clean country air. That's what I liked about this view. I was like, look at that. Nice and calm, nice and relaxed. Then we go on bike again and we just have a little cruise a bit faster. I'm just trying to gradually get used to it. I realised maybe I just need to build speed to understand how this view works. You see the view moving across to look to the apex. And I'm oversteering through the corner. So I'm finding this view challenging. This was the standard view when I first played the game on bike. And so I thought, well, let's go back to the equivalent of the bumper cam, as it were. This reminds me of playing the original Manx TT on the arcade. If anyone ever played that, I don't know, I still remember I used to have this view. Had a full-size bike in the arcade many years ago, and it was amazing. When you look at it today, it looks nothing special. But at the time, it was really intense. It felt great. And I look at this now and thought, wow, imagine having a full-size Manx TT bike machine with this circuit and detail. Fantastic. Really impressive stuff. And on the superbikes, obviously even faster, those that need more speed. So that's been a look at some of the different views. I've just been trying a different viewpoint here again, just looking at I think I moved to anticipated in a moment as well, just trying it out. Subtle changes, but I'm finding it, as you can see there, it's the way his head moves around. It's wow, it's tricky stuff. And this is anticipated now. So you can see how we get on with this. And again, my suggestion is always, if you're going to change the views in this way, build speed slowly. Don't go flat out straight away from the off. Look at that, goodness, it's intense. Under braking, whoa, it's moving around a lot there, and it's moving over to the side. And so again, I was sort of too much steer through the corner, so it was tricky keeping it together. But either way, there's a good range for you all to enjoy, and I just wanted to show you guys that they've tried to do everything they can to give players the opportunity to ride the game from the viewpoint they want. It won't keep everyone happy, there's always somebody who's going to want something different, but there's a lot there to work with, and I think it's a good start and a good improvement on what we had in the previous game. And that's it for this video, just looking at the viewpoints and some of the view options on offer. I've got a video coming up looking at some of the other circuits, and we'll be looking at various improvements to the assists and physics as well. But that's it from me for now. As ever, more soon. Hello viewers, well thanks for watching the video today. Do like and subscribe, it supports what we do. Do become a YouTube member. YouTube Patreon supports all of our content you see on the channel, and of course lots of gaming from retro to modern games. I love it all in terms of racing action. So click on one of the two videos just there to find out more.